Hey guys, welcome to today's video. And in today's video, we'll be covering how to create a basic enemy AI that random roams and walks around. And when he sees you or you go into his peripheral, he starts sprinting at you. And this tutorial will also cover how to animate it specifically with 3 different animations: idle, walk, and sprint. So as you see, if I come into his view, he starts sprinting, and as you see, his animation's changed. Now, so yeah, let's get into it. So once you're in your Unreal Engine world, the first thing you need to do is import all of your models and animations. So specifically for this one, you're going to need your 3 animations. So your idle, your walking, and your sprinting animation. And you're also going to need the skeletal mesh of your main character. So once you're in the content browser, right click and create a blueprint class and select character. And we can call this whatever you'd like. For me, it's just going to be called BP underscore monster, and then double click to open. Once you're inside your BP monster, click on the mesh over here and then select your specific skeletal mesh, and then you can scale it down to make it fit approximately and rotate it as well. We can bring it down. This is still a little too big, so I'm going to reduce the size even further. And I'll stick with this for now. And then make sure your animation mode is use animation blueprint, and we'll create that just in a bit. So we can now just place this in the world to see how it looks. And it looks okay for me right now, so we're just going to keep it like this. So now inside your content browser, right click and then scroll down. Actually, you don't need to scroll down. You can look for animation over here. And then at the very bottom where it says legacy, you want to select a blend space 1D. And then make sure you select the skeleton of the skeletal mesh you're using. And then we can call this BS and then the name of your blueprint. So you can double click to open that. So to the left hand side where it says asset details, under as axis settings, click on horizontal axis and then set the name to speed. And then the minimum value can stay 0, and the maximum value should be the max sprint speed you want for your monster. So I'm going to keep that 600 for me. So in the asset browser, if you did it correctly, you should be able to see the specific animations for your model. So I'm going to grab the idle animation and I'm going to drag it over here where it says speed equals to 0. So basically at the very start. So as you can see now, the character over here at the top is doing the animation. Then next I'm going to grab the walking, and then I'm going to bring it to about halfway, so where it says speed equals 300, but I'll keep it a little bit less, about 290. So essentially, after the speed is 290, it moves fully into the walking animation. And then as you can see, as the character accelerates, it sort of smooths into the animation as well. So he's smoothing into the animation. And then sprinting, grab your last one, and towards the end we can place it somewhere around 575. Then now you can see your character also smoothly moves from walking into sprinting. So that's what we need for now. So we can save that and exit. And then go back to your content browser. Then right click again, and we want to look for animation, and this time we want to look for an animation blueprint. So we can click on that and make sure to select your skeleton again. And we can call this ABS, then your blueprint name. So I'm going to double click to open. So now you've got your output pose over here. So underneath the details panel on the right hand side, you want to look for the asset browser. And then over here you can see the 3 animations as well as the blend space we just created. So drag on the blend space, and then plug this mannequin, this animation pose over here into result. Then we can compile and save. So now as you see, the monster over here or your character is playing the animation, and then we've got a speed variable over here. So notice what happens when I change the speed variable. The character's animation changes. So 300 he should be walking and 600 he should be sprinting. So as you can see, the character's animation is successfully changing. So right click on the speed variable and then click on promote to variable, and we can save that. And then in the event graph, you want to go to the event graph. Then we want to, out of try get pawn owner, we want to get velocity. And then out of return value, we want to get the vector length. So we only get the speed and not the direction. And then we can click on the speed over here. And then we can hold down Alt and drag it on just to get a quick set. Or you can just drag it on and click set speed. And then we set the speed to the return value out of the vector length. And that should be it. Now inside your BP monster, under animation over here, make sure it's use animation blueprint, and then under anim class we select the blueprint we made, so ABS monster. So as you see now the character is actually playing the animation. So when we make him start moving, then he'll start changing his animation as well. So now I'm going to cover how to make a basic AI patrol system. So the AI is just going to walk around until he sees the character, and then he starts basically running towards the character. So the first thing you want to do in your world is at the top over here where it says quickly add to the project, click, and then under volumes we want to get a nav mesh bounds volume, and we basically want to scale that for the entire map. So essentially what this does is it maps out an area for the AI to navigate. We just want to make sure it's the entire map. You can actually visualize this if you click P. As you see, the green parts over here is what the AI recognizes as a walkable surface. So you can click P to just remove that view. So next, inside your BP monster, you want to create a custom event. So add custom event, and we can call this random roam. So out of random roam, we want to get an AI move 2. And then out of pawn, we want to drag and get a reference to self. Then the destination is going to be get random reachable point in radius. So the random location is going to be plugged into destination over here, and the origin is just going to be get location. Or we can get actual location. That'll be better. And the radius should be 250. Or actually we can make the radius even bigger, 500 I would say. And on success, we can call a delay for a few seconds. So after he reaches the random point, we can make him wait for a random float in range. So 1 second to 5 seconds. Then out of completed, we want to call the random roam function again. So it's an infinite loop essentially. So we can just move this. And then at event begin play, we just want to call the function random roam. So we can test this out now. Okay, so as you see, he started sprinting automatically. So basically what we need to do is change the default max walk speed. So we can change this to 300 or whatever you have as your walking speed. My walking speed is 300. So as you can see now, make sure it's 300. Then we can load this. And as you see, he's walking to a random point. He's going to wait for a little bit, and then he continues walking somewhere else. So if you want him to walk a little bit longer, you can increase the radius. So maybe I'm going to make the radius 800 instead of 500. You can see now he's walking somewhere random, completely random. And then he just continues. So now we're going to create the logic for the AI to basically go towards the player if he sees the player. So what we're going to need to do is over here, we're going to need to add a pawn sensing node. This pawn sensing. And then as you see, now we've got this confusing bunch of circles around our character over here. So this is the sight radius. So this is essentially how far the AI will be able to see. So I'm going to reduce this a little bit. 1000 should be okay. So that's the blue circle, if I'm not wrong. And then the sensing interval is how long it takes before it senses again. So 0.5 is good. And then the sight, the peripheral vision angle over here is essentially how far the AI can see around it. So 90 degrees should be fine, so the AI can't see behind it, but we can actually change this. So as you see, it's the green one over here. So if we change this to something else, as you can see now, the peripheral vision is now sort of limited. So I would actually keep it like this. So we can actually test this out. So scroll all the way down at the bottom, and then where it says events, click on see pawn. And then we can test this out by just printing a string. We can print hello. So I'm currently behind it, so it doesn't see me. But now as you see, when I'm in front of it, it started printing hello. So again, it's still printing hello. Not anymore because it can't see me. But when I come into its view over here, so it's doing that. So that's good. So now the next thing we're going to need to do is, let's create another custom event. We'll call this go to player. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need an input over here. So we're going to click on the input, and it just needs to be a pawn object reference. We can call the parameter player. So out of the event, we want to drag, and we want to get, once again AI move to. Then the pawn is going to be self. This time we don't need a destination. We're going to plug this player into target actor over here. So let's actually test this out. So when it says on see pawn, we want to call go to player, and then plug in pawn to player. So let's check this out. It's randomly walking around, but now it sees me actually, so it's just going to the player. As you see, it's following me now. So one thing we also want to do is we want to make him sprint. So drag out of your character movement over here. Then we want to set max walk speed to 600 or whatever your sprinting speed was. We can plug that in. And also, out of on success, we can just set the movement speed back to its walking speed. Set max walking speed to 300. So let's test this out now. So he hasn't seen me yet, so he's not coming towards me. He's gonna continue random roaming, and when he sees me, he should start sprinting towards us. Okay, so he should be seeing me, like he should be turning this way. So as you see, he's seen me now, and now he's sprinting towards us. And as you see, it keeps on repeating. So actually, out of on success, we want to call the delay again. And then we can just call the random roam function again. So essentially now if he catches up to us, I'll just wait for a bit and then he'll continue random roaming. So as you see, if he comes here, into our view, he starts running towards us. And he should start random roaming again any moment now. And if we're in his sight, he starts coming towards us. So that's about it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see more cool tutorials like how to create this car over here, make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching.